Hello everyone. Welcome to a new episode of our design and marketing podcast. Today we're talking about creating premium gifts that won't end up in the trash the very next day. Creating merch and gifts, your treasure map of luxury brands, Venice of premium quality, a city drowning in details. I open a Cartier box as slowly as a gondolier glides under the Alta bridge, with careful grace, knowing the process itself is as important as the destination. Premium brands are like Venice. You may think you know them from thousands of photographs. But until you walk their narrow streets yourself, smell the lagoon, hear the sound of water beating against ancient masonry, you won't understand their essence. So, most creators of merchandise and branded souvenirs for corporations and hospitality think they understand luxury by browsing Louis Vuitton catalogs and Instagram. That's like claiming you know Venice because you've seen a couple of postcards with gondolas. Canals of sensuality, how to navigate the world of luxury. Venice is built on water. Instead of streets, canals. Instead of cars, gondolas and boats. The city exists despite all standard rules of urban planning. Similarly, true luxury is built contrary to ordinary production rules. Instead of optimization, close attention to handcrafting. Instead of quick solutions, years of tradition. Instead of cheaper materials, unwavering adherence to the highest standards. In Venice, locals know secret passages between houses, modest call that you won't find on tourist maps. The luxury world also has its secret passages, details known only to the initiated. Why are the hinges on Mont Blanc wallets designed for 3,000 opening and closing cycles, though the average person will barely complete 1,000 over its entire lifetime? Because redundancy is part of the language of luxury. Why is the edge of leather on Berluti products dyed and polished not only on the outside but also on the inside, invisible side? Because integrity is another dialect of this language, the bridge of size between accessibility and luxury. In Venice, there is the famous Bridge of Sighs, a closed corridor through which convicts were led from the courtroom to prison. Legend has it that criminals would sigh as they cast a final glance at the city's beauty through the bridge's small windows. In the world of premium merchandise, there's also a bridge of sighs, the moment when a designer or marketer sees a genuine luxury item, understands its quality, and then sighs, realizing their budget will never allow them to achieve the same level. But this comparison hides a mistake. The goal isn't to make an exact copy of Dior or Hermès. The goal is to understand the principles by which they work and adapt them to your capabilities. When I created a line of influencer PR boxes, gifts for immersive shows with a limited budget, we couldn't afford the leather used by premium brands. But we could apply their principle of material honesty. Instead of imitating leather, we chose high-quality canvas that didn't try to pretend to be something else. St. Mark's Square of world luxury. St. Mark's Square in Venice is the city's epicenter, the place where the main architectural masterpieces are concentrated. In the luxury world, the bag has become such a square. It's on this accessory that brands demonstrate their craftsmanship, their understanding of the balance between innovation and tradition. Studying Hermès, Chanel, and Dior bags, I noticed one common principle. They all create their unique language through constant elements that evolve but don't disappear. For Chanel, it's quilted leather and chain. For Louis Vuitton, the monogram. For Hermès, a special stitch and famous lock. For your merchandise, this means the need to create your own constant elements, details that will be recognizable characteristics of your brand regardless of the specific product. Gondoliers of premium quality. Venice gondoliers undergo years of training before earning the right to operate their boat. This profession is often passed down from generation to generation, preserving traditions and craft secrets. Similarly, craftsmen in Hermès ateliers spend years learning to work with leather before being entrusted with creating the famous Birkin bag. A new employee first works with small details for a year before moving on to more complex elements. When we talk about creating premium merchandise and corporate gifts, we must understand quality is determined not only by materials but also by the hands that work with these materials and develop prototype samples. The best advice I can give: find your gondoliers, masters who understand the language of premium quality, and work with them, even if you have to pay more to create samples before starting mass production. Because knowledgeable people can masterfully create premium quality even from the most limited budget. Murano Island in the ocean of counterfeits. The Venetian island of Murano has been famous for its glass for centuries. Real Murano glass differs from fakes not only in composition, but also in manufacturing technique, which is passed down from generation to generation. The world of luxury brands has a similar situation. Externally, a replica bag might look almost like an original Dior, but the difference becomes obvious upon closer inspection. Leather quality, stitch precision, weight and sound of hardware. So, for creators of premium merchandise and souvenirs for the hospitality industry, this is a critical lesson. Don't try to imitate luxury with cheap methods. Your guests stay in five-star hotels and are spoiled by luxury brands. Better to create something authentic within your budget than make a poor copy of something expensive. So, when I developed a line of corporate gifts for a media company, we deliberately abandoned leather for notebooks that looked almost like Hermès in favor of innovative materials based on embossed paper. This wasn't just environmentally friendly, but created a unique brand story instead of trying to mimic something else. The fog of Venetian morning, the essence of elusive premium quality. Venice is famous for its fogs, especially in winter when the city is shrouded in a milky haze that blurs the boundaries between reality and imagination. Premium quality is also shrouded in a kind of fog, an elusive sense that's difficult to describe in words but that you instantly feel when holding a genuine item from Cartier or Tiffany. This premium fog is created by a combination of many factors: brand history, craftsman skill, material quality, attention to detail, balance of all elements. When I first held a Loro Piano cashmere scarf in my hands, I couldn't rationally explain why it felt so different from visually similar copies. It was an intuitive, almost mystical sense of rightness. For your merchandise, it's important to understand premium quality isn't just a list of characteristics. It's a holistic feeling that only emerges when all elements merge into an harmonious whole. Biennale of New Ideas. The Venice Biennale is a famous contemporary art exhibition where artists from around the world present their innovative ideas. In the world of luxury brands, constant renewal also occurs. New materials, techniques, and aesthetic solutions emerge. But unlike art, where radical breaks with tradition are valued, luxury brands renew evolutionarily, maintaining a connection with heritage. Louis Vuitton collaborates with contemporary artists but always maintains its monogram. Dior experiments with forms but doesn't abandon its recognizable silhouette. Hermès uses new technologies but doesn't compromise on handcrafted quality. For your merchandise, this means the need for balance between innovation and tradition. Create something new, but preserve the core of your identity. SO, Palazzo Ducale of Premium Materials. The Doge's Palace, Palazzo Ducale in Venice, is a majestic building where every corner is decorated with incredible attention to detail. From marble floors to painted ceilings, everything speaks of the wealth and power of the Venetian Republic. Luxury brands create their own palaces, not just physical boutiques, but the items themselves, where every detail is thought out and executed with maximum attention. I visited a luxury brand's production facility and saw how they test leather. A special machine repeatedly bends the material, simulating years of use. If the slightest wear appears, the entire batch of leather is rejected. So, at Hermès, leather dyes are created according to secret recipes, guaranteeing color stability even under direct sunlight for decades. For your merchandise, this means never economize on the quality of basic materials. Better to create a simpler design, but from the best available raw materials. Carnival of fake luxury. The Venetian Carnival is famous for its masks and costumes. For a couple of weeks, people can pretend to be someone else, hide their true face. The merchandise world also has its carnival, when ordinary items dress up in costumes of premium quality, fake hardware, imitation of expensive materials, copying of iconic designs. But like carnival, this masquerade luxury is short-lived. As soon as someone starts using such merchandise or receives a branded gift, the illusion quickly dissipates. Poor quality leatherette cracks, glue yellows, threads come apart. So, for your branded merchandise and souvenirs for the B2B industry, it's super critical. Honesty of materials and execution is more important than external attributes of luxury. Better to make a simple but sincere product than try to deceive the gift recipient with fake premium quality. Acqua Alta. How to overcome budget limitations. Acqua Alta, periodic floods in Venice when water rises and floods squares and streets. Venetians have learned to live with this phenomenon, creating temporary bridges and adapting their lifestyle. In creating premium merchandise, we also face floods, limitations of budget, deadlines, material availability. The most creative solutions often arise precisely from these limitations. When I worked on a merchandise collection for a startup with a minimal budget, we couldn't afford premium quality leather for the entire surface of a daily planner. Instead, we made only the spine from superior leather and the cover from high-quality textile. This contrast created a unique visual and tactile effect. For your merchandise, don't try to make a cheap version of an expensive product. Better to create an authentic design that considers your limitations as part of the creative process. Conclusion: your own treasure map. Venice is a city that needs to be explored independently, getting lost in the labyrinth of streets, discovering unexpected squares and bridges that aren't on tourist maps. The world of premium quality is the same labyrinth where everyone must chart their own route. There's no single recipe for creating perfect merchandise. There are only principles that you must interpret through the prism of your brand, your capabilities, and your vision of your beloved clients. Study Cartier, Hermès, Prada, Dior, and Tiffany not to copy them. Study them to understand the philosophy and language of true premium quality, and then create your own dialect of this language. As Joseph Brodsky wrote about Venice, beauty is where the eye doesn't expect to find it. Real premium merchandise also often reveals its beauty in unexpected packaging details, in well-thought-out minutiae, in invisible quality that's felt but not immediately noticeable. So, create your own Venice of premium quality, a city built on the water of your knowledge, with canals of your research and bridges of your creative vision. And may it not sink under the weight of banality and imitation. Thank you for listening to the Luxury Brand Activation Gifts podcast. See you in the next episode.